In documents that leaked to that park place, we've found out what's happening with the Zootopia attraction, and Imagineers have described it as having a Taylor Swift vibe. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is a guy who's got bad blood, who says, "Speak now, Mr. Vash Sky." Vash, are you getting all these Taylor Swift references that I'm making?
You know what? When you were actually saying that, I did not make the connection that they were Taylor Swift references to begin with because I have
knew
an
you were
aversion
trouble when you
towards that.
stepped in. Anyways, let's talk about this leaked information from the Disney company. So it's Leak Week here on That Park Place, and in accordance with tradition, I don't know when we're going to get to do another one of these again, but I've really enjoyed dropping scoops here every single day. And who knows, by the time that this actually airs, maybe all of this will be out in the ether and we'll be talking to ourselves and just telling you what you already know. But I do want to talk about the Zootopia attraction. Vash, before we get started here, what do you know about the Zootopia attraction? Because you have not seen this leak yet.
Yeah, very little was actually presented when going over this. I believe, what was it? It was a D23 Expo is where this was originally premiered there, filling in the space for It's Tough to Be a Bug underneath the Tree of Life. I understand that probably time to move on from It's Tough to Be a Bug. It was quite nice to experience that attraction back when I went last summer right there. It used to be a mainstay at Disney California Adventure, interestingly enough, which is kind of a not so great of a fit, but it was fun nonetheless. I know they've wanted to incorporate Zootopia into Animal Kingdom for some time, much to the chagrin of people like Joe Rohde. I get it, I understand. And it sounded like they were going to do that in a big way in the original Dino Land. Obviously, that's very much changed. I think they touted this replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug to be something that was going to be pretty fun, but little is known from there.
Yep. Well, you are correct so far in everything, especially the fact that it's going to be replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug. And A Bug's Land, that's one that I've always wanted to see out there at Disney's California Adventure or Disney California Adventure, depending on where you go in the naming structure there. I hear the only way that you can see it now is apparently Ant-Man goes around with a teeny tiny little copy of Bug's Land if you can catch him in the park. So let's get to let's get to the nitty gritty, to quote Nacho Libre here. So Disney is wanting to activate Zootopia merchandise in their parks. They think that Shanghai is doing fantastic, and hey, it may be. It's a themed land. Imagineers over here have seen what's gone on over there. Some of the merchandise and the food offerings that are coming out of that are actually pretty fantastic, by the way. Teeny tiny little popsicles and also giant popsicles, things like that from the movie Zootopia. They want to bring that to the United States, and in order to do that, they're going to need an attraction. And according to their thinking, Animal Kingdom is the absolute best place to do that. Of course, the Joe Rohde comment that we keep going to is animals who wear pants are basically stand-ins for humans. So it's not really the idea of Animal Kingdom, because animals are animals, and animals that act like humans are not really animals from a story concept. But here we are. We're going to be talking about what is going into, because we've seen what this attraction will be, according to this documents that we have been provided. The story of the attraction, they'll first of all, of course, be putting it in the It's Tough to Be a Bug space that is inside of the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life, amazing over there at Animal Kingdom. It's an amazing queue because it's an amazing weenie, as Disney like to call all of his big objects in the center of the park that catch your eye to be hot dogs. So they're putting it in that space, and they are celebrating. This is the story here. They're going to be celebrating Zoogether Day, which I'm assuming is a joke about Together Day, with a rock concert that they are describing as a la Taylor Swift.
Right. So this is interesting. The Zoogether Day, I believe, is a reference to the film, whereas you have predators and prey, and how there was some, there was some tension there in that film, big part of that film. So kind of understand that. Taylor Swift is where you lose me a little bit. Now, I know Shakira's character, Giselle, actually makes a big appearance in the Zootopia attraction in Shanghai. It makes sense that they would want to capture at least a portion of that, but Taylor Swift, that's
This is
that's a
an
first.
interesting merging of several different things here, because the "Try Everything" song from the movie soundtrack is actually written by Sia and performed by Shakira. So in this, they're saying they want this Giselle concert, because I think it is going to be a Giselle concert. They're wanting it to be a la Taylor Swift. I don't know if this is the Imagineer just trying to evoke an interesting pop artist, or Disney trying to ingratiate themselves to Taylor Swift even more, because we've talked about it on this channel. Bob Iger making a lot of interesting overtures to Taylor Swift. I don't think romantic ones. His wife was with him at the time, but he's trying to come off as a Swiftie, it seems, in publicity. So another name that will be participating in this musically actually excites me. They're bringing in Michael Giacchino to work on a new song for the attraction. Vash, are you familiar with Michael Giacchino?
Oh, absolutely, very much so. Michael Giacchino has actually contributed towards many projects for Walt Disney Imagineering. Interestingly enough, I believe he started work with Imagineering doing the new song for Space Mountain after that ride was completely overhauled from about 2002 to about 2005. So he has been working with not only Pixar, but with the company for quite some time in all of its various endeavors.
Right. He's amazing to me. He's about as close to John Williams as we have right now, in my opinion. But he can also do things that he's somewhere. I don't want to say he's between Danny Elfman and John Williams, but he can do either one of those things. He did the soundtrack to Doctor Strange, which obviously has that hopeful but also mysterious vibe that you can get from a Danny Elfman soundtrack. But he also did the theme from Star Trek in 2009, and the theme from Star Trek 2009 is absolutely amazing. If you haven't heard it, go look it on YouTube. It's one of those big, horn section soundtracks where there's just blasting this majestic theme at you. Also did the soundtrack to the television show Lost. La Luna, that's a really good example of a Michael Giacchino soundtrack that you can experience in a very short time. It's a Pixar short about a multi-generational, I'm assuming multi-generational because there's not a lot of spoken dialogue in it, but the soundtrack to it is just pitch perfect. Absolutely beautiful. To hear that Michael Giacchino is doing work on this is very exciting to me. Although if he's doing this kind of music, I don't know if we'll get the full breadth of his talents there, because it's going to be a rock concert of some kind. By the way, Clawhauser is going to be in there, and he's, as you know, a huge Giselle fan. If you watch Zootopia, in that space where Hopper was, that's where Clawhauser is going to be. There's going to be like this spinning motion that brings him up to where people can see him. They're saying he's going to be a very large animatronic, and he's going to be interrupting the show on a frequent basis, and he kind of becomes the host or producer of the show. There's some indication of some kind of twist on the show in order to keep it interesting and add a little bit more story there.
Do you think it's a take on the Clawhauser animatronic that's already in use at Shanghai, and I believe the queue there for that attraction?
It could be, but what I saw was a little bit more fully formed than that Clawhauser. If it's the same one, I'll be slightly disappointed, because I'm not overly impressed with this Clawhauser. I think he doesn't quite bring out the animation of the character. But, it's Clawhauser, and if they get the original voice actor in there and they do a good job with it, it can be great. I don't know. Vash, what do you think? If it is this Clawhauser, is that going to be impressive enough for American audiences?
Yeah, that's tough, because when you're passing by an animatronic figure like this on some attraction that's going to have many of them, it's not so big of a deal if it doesn't have the impressive range of motion we've seen some animatronics have in the past. However, if it's going to be the sole animatronic in this production, which it sounds like it might be, then the emphasis to really make him stellar, it's going to be that much more critical to actually pull that off correctly right there. I will note here that the Shanghai version of the attraction features a queue through a prison, which
Oh my.
I think I think American audiences would have a different reaction to, and I've heard that
And
the
there's even
previous.
teeny tiny little doors for the mice as opposed. Oh wow, that's amazing dedication to theming.
Yes, yes. I think this is the thing that tripped up Imagineers from bringing this specific attraction to Disney's Animal Kingdom right there. I know there's a lot of Imagineers inside right now that have a very particular take on culp culture or particular thoughts on culp culture. So I'm going to be interesting to see what they end up doing in this iteration for this version and going from this to Taylor Swift. That's going to be fascinating to see.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Now, I haven't seen It's Tough to Be a Bug in a while. As I said, I haven't been to Animal Kingdom for a while. I do remember enjoying the attraction at least on at least 2 separate trips there. But we want to throw this to our audience. What do you think of Zootopia coming to Tree of Life? Do you take this with a grain of salt, or do you think this is something that is actually happening? Let us know in the comment section down below. And if it's not, if it's a rock concert a la Taylor Swift, and there are rock fans out there who are of course going, those two things do not agree with each other. Who would you rather see in the space here? Something more Metallica, something more Muse, or maybe something more Queen? I don't know. You let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, like this video if you like this video, and consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.